And we're live.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans around the world, we are coming to you with the first ever edition of the CZO and The Pickle podcast. And we're coming right after Wrestlemania 31. And by God, that was a great show. What do you have to say about that, CZO?
Well, Pickle, I got to tell you something. It was a great WrestleMania, and there was a lot of great matches, and we're going to get into all of that. But let's go ahead and start off with the Raw kickoff show, which was better than ever this year, in my opinion. And it started off with a tag team fatal four-way match. What do you have to say about that?
I have to say it was a little odd seeing the first ever tag team in the kickoff show. That's usually an event that's in WrestleMania, but there were
And
a
I
lot
gotta agree, that's usually in a WrestleMania event was in a kickoff show. But you know, the kickoff show was new this year, so it was pretty cool to have the tag team titles in that kickoff show. And I gotta say that I'm happy with the outcome of it. I thought that Cesaro and Tyson Kidd did a hell of a match, and they came out victorious. What did you see from the match?
Well, I have to say this. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, I thought, deserved that win. It was two wrestlers that you weren't sure what direction they were going to go in, but as soon as they came together, they won the tag team championships. And I think that was a good way to start off WrestleMania. That was a really fun night tonight. So
I thought the action was high flying in that tag team match, and the way that they did the tag at the end when the Uso jumped off the top rope and came in and stole the win and got Big E down for the 1-2-3 was great, and they deserved to win the tag team championships or retain them.
yeah. Well, let's see if they could ever have good single careers on their own in the late future, but I do like them as a tag team, so I want to keep
I
seeing
do think Cesaro can. I'm a big fan of his. He's got a good build and a good look, and he's a pretty good in-ring wrestler. And I've actually been Tyson Kidd has surprised me. He's a pretty good in-ring performer as well. He's kind of a heel going right now, and I do like heels. And I think he is he's up and coming, but we'll just have to wait and see how the WWE uses him.
Well, we'll just have to see. Let's go on to the next match here, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I thought was a very fun match to watch, and I'm a big fan of The Miz and Mizdow. It was kind of sad to see them break up tonight, but I'm excited to see what direction that goes in. I expect to see a long feud between the two, but it was a fun match. What do you have to say about that? And also a match that I didn't know was in the kickoff show until we watched it tonight, but it was fun. What do you got to say?
I have to agree. I have to say that I am surprised that it was in the kickoff show. Again, another good match to be in the kickoff show. However, I think the WWE is somehow putting down the Royal Rumble match itself with making these Royal Rumbles be so fast. I'm not about that. I do like them, but I am not a big fan about that. And I did think it was kind of funny how Axelmania came in and they picked him up, carried him to one side, and threw him out in 2 seconds. So that was pretty funny.
Yes.
I was watching some inspiration videos of Ryback when he's working out. Inspired me to hit the gym pretty hard. Kind of a shame not to see him pull off a victory there. But I still wanted to see Big Show pull off an Andre the Giant Memorial Royal Rumble match win. So I'm happy that Big Show did win. He's kind of been falling off the map and being a side character. So for him to actually get a win, I'm very happy because I'm a big Show fan, and they don't always let him be in the spotlight. So for him to win that, I'm very happy about that. You did mention that The Miz and Mizdow had a little falling out, and that was a pretty funny scene in there. So I did like that. With that said, having Mizdow win, that could have been pretty funny as well. But I am very happy to see the Big Show pull off a win and get some recognition and actually win a prominent match.
Well, you bring up a good point there, CZO. I agree with you that the Big Show deserves to win that, but I gotta say, I would have liked to see that, and I have thought about this, and we have had conversations. I would have liked to see that happen last year for him to win it,
And
because
I
it was
completely agree
whatever.
with you. I completely agree with
I
you with
thought
that.
he should have won it then, but it was maybe WWE realized that, hey, we got to give him one because who knows how many more he's going to be in. And I'm a huge Big Show fan because you know the history that goes back with us in the WCW days, and we'll get more into that in other podcasts. But yeah, good thing. I'm happy the Big Show won.
All right, how about seeing Jay Gruden on there? That was pretty cool. You know, I'm a big football fan, so him getting on there and making his predictions, that was pretty cool. To it's sports entertainment, so seeing all the the different various sports entertainment coming into the WWE is always fun to see and witness. So seeing Jay Gruden on there was pretty awesome. Big fan. So that was a nice surprise before the Raw kickoff. Why don't we go ahead and start off with uh, not Raw, Wrestlemania kickoff. So the first match, shockingly, the first match was the Intercontinental Championship match, and it was a ladder match. And I'm very happy that they finally brought back the ladder match. It's been, I don't know how many years. It's been a few years.
Absolutely.
It's been a few years since they've had a ladder match at WrestleMania, and before it was the Money in the Bank, and I thought that was an awesome staple, an awesome event to have at your WrestleMania. I thought, just the high-flying performances were always great, and when they took that away, I'm not going to lie, I was really down on it. So see it back again this year really made it, and to start it off with it, I mean, it was just amazing. So why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit of, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it.
Well, in this match, it was between the champion, Bad News Barrett, the high flyer, R-Truth, the Rebel Assassin, Dean Ambrose, the Freakazoid, Luke Harper, the Clevelander, Dolph Ziggler, the Weirdo, Stardust, and, of course, yes, Daniel Bryan. I have to say, it was a great match, a great way to kick off WrestleMania. I loved that that was the first match because everybody knew that that was going to be like the match that could steal the show. Even though it didn't steal the show, we all know what stole the show, but we will get to that.
And with that said, I do want to go ahead and throw in there that right now, at the end of the night, we are going to both come up with our best slam of the night. And I definitely got to say, in the ladder match, Luke Harper power bombing Dean Ambrose onto the ladders offside, outside the ring, definitely a contestant for that. And also, Bad News Barrett.
When Luke Harper duplexed Bad News Barrett off the ladder was amazing.
It was Bad News Barrett's superplexing Stardust off the ladder. That was a pretty massive fall. So I'd like to throw those two in there for the end of the night. For our, we go ahead and say which one.
I'm gonna give it to Stardust.
I gotta say though, the ladder match, like I said, it was refreshing to finally have that back in WrestleMania. It was a great way to kick it off. I still was a little surprised that they let Daniel Bryan win the match. I still thought maybe he'd be in the hunt for the WWE Championship. It doesn't eliminate him from it; it just takes him in a different direction. I know you are a huge Dolph Ziggler fan. I kind of thought maybe they were going to pull for him to go ahead and snag it this night. But I also really was truly rooting for R-Truth. I think he's a funny character. I love his character, and it would have been really awesome to see him win it. All in all, though, I mean, everybody did great in the match, and Luke Harper, I mean, a lot of people don't give him a lot of credit. That guy just manhandled everybody in that match and did significantly good stuff in that match. So I liked his wrestling background in that match. I thought he brought a lot to the table in that match.
I think that they need to develop his character a little bit more into maybe a darker character, because I think they have room to do that with him. But uh, it was a great match. I expected a lot, and it was a great ending to a match. I saw it going both ways too. I thought that with Dolph running up there that he would get the win at the end, but
How about those
I
headbutts?
understand
Those headbutts were freaking brutal, okay? Those
they
look
were
real,
it
and we all know
was crazy.
wrestling's fake, but those headbutts were brutal. They both were smacking each other in the head. Those were some
Let me
brutal
tell you
headbutts.
something. I had four people here. We were all just cringing when we were watching that. We're just like, oh my god! But it was a great match. Daniel Bryan has never been the Intercontinental Champion, so they like to do that to make sure that they get all the belts. I expect Daniel Bryan to do more, but it's hard to say what direction WWE is really going to push him, especially after his speech at the Hall of Fame, which was a great speech, but said a couple of controversial things.
Yes,
But
I still have to watch that, and we'll talk about the Hall of Fame
and
too
that'll
on
be
the podcast. We'll
but
do a separate podcast on that. Um, you know,
for all you fans. But I gotta say, the ending of that match was great. I would have liked to see Dolph Ziggler win it because if you notice his character, he really like came above, beat all odds, and he just had a great streak going for him. And it would have been great to see him have a WrestleMania moment because he got screwed over a lot. I mean, a
what
lot of people
about
Brian has.
Bad News Barrett's? What's his punch move? I forget what it is, but he was on a roll there where he was knocking like four people out in a row with his punch. I can't remember what
Yeah.
his punch is, but it was pretty badass. I still wanted to have him retain the title. I am a big fan of his. But let's go ahead and let's roll on to match number 2, where you had the Viper Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. What'd you think about that match?
Well, I really enjoyed the match, and I thought it was one of the best RKO's I have ever seen. It was just such an
All right,
awesome.
you already skipped to it, so that's gonna definitely be in the
I'm
slam of the night.
going
Slam
to
of the night.
because that was
Vote.
the best of the night for sure.
What do you think about
Slam
the
of the night.
storyline and Randy Orton getting one
Yeah.
over on the future of the WWE, even though Randy Orton was the future of the WWE. So that was I thought it was a pretty intriguing storyline. It built up just great, and I thought Randy Orton. I was pulling for Randy. I like Seth Rollins. I am a Seth Rollins guy. I think he's got a good look. I think he's good on the mic. I think he's a great heel. I think they need to fix his attire, but his ring attire.
Well,
Um,
you know what?
I think he's
It
a good
doesn't matter
wrestler.
because he's the world champion right now, but we'll get more into that later. But he is the
Oh,
world
look at you! Look
champion.
at you ruining stuff. Skipping ahead.
I'm not going to ruin it, but everybody knows if you're a wrestling fan and you're listening to this, you know he's the champ.
Well, yes, Randy Orton's or Seth Rollins' curb stomp into a elevated RKO was definitely awesome. And that's what won Randy Orton the match.
It was an amazing move. Had they not done it properly,
Yeah, it could have been ugly.
it could have been ugly, but it was
All right, now let's
amazing.
just go ahead. Let's just cut right to the chase. Third match, WrestleMania 31. Did you
Wait, the third match?
The third match, WrestleMania 31? Did you expect it to be Sting versus Triple H? Third match, WrestleMania. I did not.
All right. I did not at all. Not at all. But with that said,
Well, don't jump to the end. Let's do a little play-by-play
not,
here.
not jumping to that. Let's start with the entrances.
All right, he's the Pickle,
My
ladies and gentlemen, and I am CZO. Just coming back at you again here with the podcast right after WrestleMania. We are coming at you live, WrestleMania 31, and we're bringing to you the podcast for those that weren't able to experience it or just want to get, some different takes and views on wrestling itself. So we are on the
And if you
third
just like,
of the night, and it was Triple H versus Sting, and we'll go ahead and share some of our inputs about it.
all right, and just a little perspective on myself about this match. I am a diehard Sting fan. I am also a diehard Triple H fan, but growing up, Sting was always my favorite. I always rooted for him against the NWO, and CZO over here was always a huge Hollywood Hogan fan, and we just always loved our guys. So, that's a lot of history, and this match for me was something that I've been waiting a long time for. 14 years in the making for Sting to finally make the jump and wrestle.
It was 15 years.
Yeah. It was 14 years.
Just touch a little bit on what the Pickle's saying. He got me into wrestling in 5th grade. It's many moons ago, and when he got me into it, we were WCW, and most importantly, we were both NWO White and Black for life. But he was a huge Sting fan, always the renegade, standalone Sting character. So this match, for every wrestler, should be highly important. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of the new wrestlers maybe don't get it, but, the experienced wrestling fans definitely know that this match, I mean, to me, this match right here, I didn't even need the rest of WrestleMania, to be honest with you. This match right here was so awesome. You had Triple H of the WWE, and you had Sting of WCW, and they tried not to really make it about that, but it still did have that essence there. And when we break down the match, you'll see. I do want to comment. I thought both entrances were unique. They were different. I think Sting's face paint, oh my God, was awesome. Where he had the white and black normal streaks, but he had a little bit of red. I watched a lot of Sting matches. I haven't seen that variation of paint. I'm sure maybe he has used it before, but I thought his face paint looked phenomenal. I thought he looked really badass. And I thought Triple H, he still looks like a monster. I mean, how he's not competing for the WWE title is just because he's going the COO direction, but I mean, the guy's a freaking beast. His entrance was for the new Terminator movie. It is what it is. I'm not going to say I really loved it. I'm not going to say I really hated it. At the end of the day, it's still Triple H, and he's one of the best. I'll let Jamie go ahead and talk.
All right, well, let's start off with the match. I mean, you're right. Triple H is an absolute monster. Stephanie McMahon, you're a lucky girl. I'm not going to lie. Like, Triple H takes care of himself. He is a fucking monster, a beast. And for all you younger fans out there that don't know how dominant Triple H is, just look at him. It was amazing. And I'm going to go into this match and just say the fans got it right. He still got it. The Stinger, he put on a great match, a lot better than The Undertaker, and we're going to get into that as well, but it was a great match. He did a lot of great things. And I will say this, Triple H really, he probably made Sting look a lot better than he really is, but Sting put on a hell of a match. It was just great to see that. I love the Scorpion death drops in the middle of the match, and I loved how he put him in the Scorpion well, yeah, but the sharpshooter, but his move.
Scorpion deathlock.
And he had it on for a long time. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like, I like when there's a lot of submission moves like that. But all in all, when D-Generation X came out,
I just thought... fans, you heard him right. In the middle of the freaking match, D-Generation X, that's the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, and X-Pac. They came out wearing D-Generation X to the ring to attack Sting. You got to remember, this is a no disqualifications match. you got to remember, they tried not to hype it up as WCW versus WWE, but you had DX come out right behind Triple H. It was amazing. Let me tell you the emotion I felt when that happened. I was like, you know what the fuck's gonna happen next? NWO. Now NWO wasn't even with Sting, but they were WCW. And I said, Hogan, Nash, Hall. Everybody at the house was like, no way, they're not coming out. I was like, yes, they are. They came out. It was so epic. And then wait, what happens after that? HBK with the sweet chin music to Sting. Oh man, I was calling it left and right. I was out of my socks. I mean, this moment right here, this was the best moment. I don't even care about wrestling for the rest of this year. This moment was so great to see my number one stable, the NWO, in coming in against my second favorite stable, D-Generation X, and battling while the two were going at it in the ring. I mean, for you new wrestlers fans, if you guys don't get it, I'm telling you, there's nothing better than that. There's never going to be anything better than that. I couldn't write the script better than that. It was so awesome. Hands down.
It was
I love the match. Just loved it.
Well, Sting did an awesome move off the top rope where he jumped down and hit DX and all them. And
Yeah, he took them
Sting,
all out. That's right. That was a good,
yeah,
definitely a good move.
they showed how dominant of a wrestler he really used to be. Like they let him do all his old stuff. It was great. But I have to say, when the NWO came out and they showed Hogan, Hall, and Nash walking together, like I just got the chills. It brought me back. It was awesome to see just, Sting with the NWO and watching them battle against DX and HBK with the sweet chin music at the end. Even though Sting didn't win the match, I love the match. I love how they shook hands at the end. I thought it was an emotional match. I don't know if it was the last match for Sting. I would like to see something possibly on Raw tomorrow where Undertaker and Sting, because they were making it out to seem like the Undertaker might be sticking around. So maybe they are going to do something with Undertaker Sting. I could see something at a Survivor Series maybe, but we'll see. I don't think they're going to make it to WrestleMania next year. That could have been their last WrestleMania. Maybe they're going to have a retirement match together, but I think they should try and do it if they could. But I think Sting's in a lot better condition than the Undertaker right now. It clearly showed. But again, we'll get into that when we get into that match. But what a great match.
Fantastic match. And just again, I like to look at everything in wrestling. Just to look at their attires. I thought Sting's attire, again, his face paint was awesome. I thought Triple H's knee pads, them being a little bit white with some blue. Some people might not look at ring attires, but I'll get into why I look at them a little bit later. I thought Triple H's attire was probably the best he's ever had for his knee pads.
Yeah.
And I just got to say
When
that.
Sting came out in the red cloak,
Yeah.
it was awesome. Yeah.
I just have
The
to,
red
hands down say, when this match was coming up, I went back and forth. I at first literally thought there was no way Triple H was going to lose to WCW. I literally did not think he could lose. And then they kept doing their little promos, and then I was like, oh man, there's no way that Sting's going to lose, and Sting's definitely going to win. This match came up tonight, and I didn't pick a victor. I didn't. And I really didn't care, to be honest with you. I love both wrestlers. I thought it was an awesome match, awesome team thing, WWE versus WCW. I could go on all night talking about this match, but just to rev it up and end it up, I thought it was awesome. I thought they did it very well, and yeah, that was it for me.
Great to see Hogan with the NWO again.
Oh my God, yeah, my favorite. Seeing Hogan in white and black, and with his two supporting cast, the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, that's the best. There's nothing better than that.
Yes. Great to see him.
All right, we want to move on from that match?
We're going to move on.
I believe the performance was next. the singing performance.
Singing performance, which we don't have to really get into.
Yeah, I really don't want to
We
get into
had
that. I'm just gonna say that I thought the drummer was a pretty fantastic drummer, and I thought it was
oh yeah,
awesome.
Travis
And
Barker.
and
Yeah,
the singing
Blink 180.
performances, they were okay. I'm not gonna say they were bad. I'm just gonna say they were okay. They just weren't for me.
Right. Well, we don't really have to get into that. And we had the AJ Lee and Paige versus the
Versus the
Bella
Bellas.
twins, which I gotta say is bullshit. That match should have been in the
Yeah, the pre-show. I know where you're going with that. It should have been in the whatever they want to call it, the pre-show, the start off to WrestleMania. It should have been in that. I know that's where you're going. I agree 100% with that.
right. But anyways, that match clearly showed you how much of a better wrestlers AJ Lee and Paige are than the Bella twins.
Yeah,
So
I really truly think that AJ Lee and Paige's talents as divas, that their talents are being side viewed by trying to wrestle with the Bellas. I think
I know,
I think
I agree.
Nikki maybe has some okay talent, but they just don't choreograph anything. You could tell it's kind of made up on the fly. It's made up on the fly, and you're not good at choreographing. You're not going to look good. And I right now the divas wrestlers, in my opinion, for the WB, I'm not very impressed, with the exception of AJ and Paige. And they do the best right now to have them, storyline wise, be teammates or whatever. But we probably need to see them battle each other more, because they could probably put on some better shows than some
Well,
of these.
they did battle each other for a long
They
time. I
did.
mean, you can
That's
only
what I'm
do
saying.
so.
But now they're trying to break in them in the storyline with the Bellas, and yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's over for a little bit, and hopefully the Bellas. I'm not a fan of them, and I don't like either of them, and I could do without watching them on Raw or any of the pay-per-views. But anyways, let's just jump right into the next match with John Cena versus Rusev.
Well, I will just like to say real quick before that happened, they did have the Hall of Fame inductees come out. That was pretty cool. Like I said, I missed
Oh yes.
the Hall of Fame inductee ceremony, so I will watch that, and we will have a podcast on that. But I just wanted to touch base. They did have them come out. By the way, the arena and everything that you looked at in the arena was just awesome. For those that didn't get to see it, the arena, it was outside, it was open, it looked beautiful. It was a sunny, nice day out. So I
With
mean,
that being
everything perfectly as far as the
with
arena goes.
with that being said, the Sting versus Triple H and the Undertaker versus versus Bray Wyatt. I would have liked to see that dark, but it was light out during that matches because you would have liked to see darker entrances for them. But they did the best they
Yeah,
could
I
with
agree.
that
They did the best they could. I agree with you. They did the best they could.
because it was 3 hours ahead if you're on East Coast time.
Yep. So the next
So
match was the fifth match of the night, and it was Cena versus Rusev. And they actually did bring back Lana, which is cool. I know all the fans love to see her. She's, gorgeous.
very interesting where that storyline's gonna go. But it was yeah, we John Cena came out. They both had pretty good entrances. Um, but
I like Rusev entrance. I mean, he came out in a fucking tank, so that was pretty badass. Um,
yeah, it was really cool.
I like
It
Rusev as
was
a wrestler. I think he's a pretty good in ring wrestler. He's pretty impressive, and
yeah, he's a great in-ring wrestler, and he's had John Cena's number for a little while now. But he came out, and it was a physical match. They both gave it a lot, and it showed, that Rusev, it really is going to be the future in a way. I think he'll be able to have a good run. We'll see what happens with his character, but I think the feud is going to be over for a while, but we'll see. Um, it was a very physical match, and I did like how John Cena won it because it kind of made sense because Rusev has been kicking his ass lately.
Yeah, I was happy Cena won. I'm a longtime Cena hater, but I've grown to love John Cena so over the years and respect him, and he's become one of my favorite wrestlers. So now that they have been putting him on a downward spiral where, he's kind of passing the torch maybe. I don't think he's ready to give up yet, but he's kind of passing the torch in the sense that he doesn't win every night. For him to go out there and win the United States Championship, I thought it was a I thought it was a great match, and I was happy with the results. And we'll see what Cena does from there. Very interested to see where he goes next. Now that he has the United States Championship, it'll be very interesting to see, what his next role is, or what his next person he's
Well, maybe, you
going to be
know,
facing.
now that I
Um,
think about it, maybe he will continue to feud with Rusev. I mean, maybe the feud isn't over.
yeah, I don't think it is over because that was Rusev's first loss, and I don't see why they would stop. So they're probably going to go a couple more times. And we'll see what direction they go. If they continue to let Cena beat him, I mean, that's going to be kind of different for his character, Rusev being undefeated. So we'll just have to see.
Right.
But
But
the next thing what happened was at WrestleMania, actually, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H were in the middle of the ring, and they were basically just saying how they own WWE and that they are, the power of the WWE and not the fans. And then, you had the People's Champ come out, The Rock, came into the ring and was feuding with them a little bit. If you missed the Saturday Night Live Bambi little SNL skit, definitely check it out. It was hilarious. I mean, I'd watch it 7 more times. It was so funny. But going back to WrestleMania, what did you think of that? The pickle.
it was it was a great WrestleMania moment. Once you heard The Rock's music, over 76,000 fans going crazy for the People's Champion coming out to the ring. It was a great moment, a great WrestleMania feeling, and I really enjoyed it. And so basically what happened was The Rock came out and Stephanie McMahon slapped the shit out of The Rock's face. But The Rock got out of the ring, and who was sitting nearby? Amanda, or it
It was
was
Ronda Rousey, an MMA fighter, MMA
and she
Queen of the Ring, they call her. I really
Queen
like the
of the
fact that she got in the ring. I don't know if you noticed it. Did you notice what she was wearing? Were you like, oh man, Phil is gonna go crazy for what she's wearing? Did you notice what she was wearing?
tell the people what she was wearing, Phil.
All right, she was wearing a shirt that said "It's over 9,000" and had Vegeta on it, a Dragon Ball Z T-shirt. Dragon Ball Z made it into WrestleMania. I can die a happy man now. I am a Rousey fan now. If I pronounce her name wrong, I'm sorry. I'll look up how to do it tomorrow. And wearing Vegeta on her T-shirt in the middle of the ring when she could wear anything else on the planet. Wow, that stuck out
And
for me. DBZ,
she could have
DBZ
a
fan for life.
WWE future. She could have a WWE future in the near future. I could see her coming on board, but we'll see what happens. I've heard rumors when she's done wrestling. I mean, no one can beat her, so why not come over to WWE? I wonder what Dana White thinks of Rousey coming over there, Brock Lesnar staying in WWE. It used to be the other way around for a while, but they got CM Punk. You know what? Who cares about CM Punk now? That was a great WrestleMania. But it was a great. If you missed that moment, guys, in WrestleMania, you should definitely go back and watch it because
It was a great moment because
it's
I
all.
remember Triple H and The Rock were fighting for a second. I think Triple H threw, or Rock threw Triple H a little bit, and then Ronda took Triple H down with an armbar. It was pretty good. Um, so it was good. It was electrifying. It was a good WrestleMania moment. It's always great to have The Rock
Yeah,
there.
it's fun. It was a lot of fun, and if I'm sure everybody really enjoyed it, and you could tell by the 76,000 people's fans going nuts.
Right after that was finishing up, we had match number 6 of the night. It was The Undertaker, the Phenom, versus Wyatt.
The Reaper
And
versus Wyatt. And
I did like Wyatt's entrance, the Pickles alluding to earlier. They didn't have the darkness there at the arena. It was an open arena, so everybody that was dark have dark entrances couldn't have dark entrances. I thought Wyatt's entrance was pretty cool. They had like these scarecrows come out. If you've ever played the game Silent Hill, when you look at the zombies or the bad guys, creatures, they don't move at you, but when you turn away, they like move at you in very stagnant movements. That's what they had. These scarecrows come out behind Bray Wyatt, and it looked really cool. I thought it was pretty cool.
it was. It was a very cool entrance, and it
And
was
I
a lot of
and didn't
fun.
they
And
play? Wasn't Bray Wyatt's theme music a tiny bit different? Like I thought it was just a tiny bit different. I might have been wrong, but I thought it was a little bit
it
different.
was. It seems like they always enhance stuff at
Yeah.
WrestleMania as far as
I thought it
music.
sounded I thought it sounded cooler. I did think it sounded a little bit better.
Yeah, and Undertaker's entrance, I have to say, I was kind of surprised that it was just kind of a plain entrance of
Yeah,
him walking out.
yeah,
There wasn't,
I was
he
telling,
didn't come out with torches. It was a little plain. I mean, of course, his entrance is always awesome,
yeah,
but
when
it
it hit
was
the
just a
dog,
normal
it's
Undertaker
always
entrance.
awesome.
No,
I'm not gonna lie either. I was telling everybody at my house. I had some people over my house watching WrestleMania, and I was calling casket. I was calling them. We're gonna pull down a casket all down to the ring, and
kind
Undertaker
of
was gonna
thought
come
that
up from
too.
it.
I thought that
And
too,
I was like,
actually.
it would be perfect for, they don't have the darkness scene or anything like that. I was like, if they have him come out in a casket, that's going to be awesome. And that's what I was really
Yeah,
hoping for. When he walked out, it was okay. Like you said, he's still the Undertaker. He still demands a pretty awesome entrance. But I really
right,
thought they were going to bring him out in a casket. I thought that would have been pretty awesome.
right.
Now, as
Well,
far as
anyways, getting into the match, I thought it started off. I thought like honestly, the first 2 minutes of that match, I thought it started off really good. There was some old school Undertaker. They did some stuff outside of the ring, and then I thought the match was really dragged on after that. I thought the Undertaker looked really old, and I just didn't think that it was a very good match for him. I mean, I understood why he won. I predicted he would win. I couldn't see why they would have Bray Wyatt
yeah,
win that. But
I did predict that he was going to win. He did win. I actually really enjoyed the match. I know the Undertaker's getting really old, and there's only so much they could do with him now. It's probably at best if we get
I'm
anything.
not saying I didn't enjoy it because I always like watching the Undertaker. I'm a huge Undertaker fan, and I'm
Well,
not telling you I
what
didn't enjoy it.
what I was coming to was as I was looking at the time on my clock, and I knew what the segment was going to. And I knew that they were probably a 15-minute match, 20 max. And usually, typical Undertaker style, he takes the brunt of the damage. He always does. He always has, and he always did
Yeah, but
take the brunt.
there was a lot of the match with them just lying on the ground, as opposed to more action of the match. Like I just felt it was a little dragged on with them just
Well,
lying.
again, it had to be different because the Undertaker's in a very different phase of his career, so it had to be different. And I thought, just like you said, the first few minutes were really great because they let the Undertaker dominate. He wasn't taking any damage. He did some old school Undertaker where he jumps up on the ropes and walks with your arm. So that was cool to see some old school. I really thought that they did a pretty good start to the match. But then you have your typical where the Undertaker has to get a little bit of a beatdown for a while. And I thought it was pretty cool. I don't remember how many tombstones he gave Bray Wyatt, but he ended up beating him with the tombstone pile driver, and that was pretty cool. And there was times where you thought he might have got pinned again with Sister Abigail, and it didn't happen. And I actually was okay with this Undertaker match opposed to last year. Last year he was facing Brock Lesnar again. he was a little bit more, I guess you could say, in his prime, and he had to take the brunt of the punishment like he normally does. And last year he got killed, and Brock Lesnar was throwing him all over the ring, gave him a concussion. Who knows if he got a concussion tonight or not? But he can't take that damage anymore. I thought, I thought he looked this year. I thought he had a whole year off of rest. I thought he looked a little bit ring ready for a normal 10-minute segment. Undertaker, don't take all the punishment. So this year for me, I actually did enjoy the match. I did.
I thought it was better than last year's, but I thought that it was still a match that was a little bit more dragged on, maybe more than it should have been. But with that being said, at the end of the match, I thought that Sting was going to come back out. They were going to go face to face. Now, I think there's a chance on Raw tomorrow night that could happen, because you know that the first Raw after WrestleMania, they always like to make it a really good one. So I think it could happen tomorrow, but after seeing both of them wrestle with everyone still chanting, you still got it in both matches, maybe they will have a match between the two. And we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I really do want to see where they go. I don't want to see Sting fall off the map. He just got here. He had his WrestleMania moment.
I don't want to see him fall off the map either.
He had the backing of the NWO. I mean, if I didn't get my point across earlier, I mean that moment right there is all I need for the rest of this year. I mean, I hope wrestling's sweet the rest of the year. I'm still gonna watch it and be entertained.
Great.
That moment was so great for me. I know it for sure was for a lot of WCW fans.
Speaking of that moment, it's coming on TV right now on the replay. And let's just hear a little NWO music for a second, shall we?
And we will be queuing up for the final match of the night. Brock versus Reigns right after this.
When they come out looking like badasses, NWO, black and white, Hogan, Paul, Nash. Let me tell you something, guys. The NWO, they're the true heels, the true black and white, and the true group that changed wrestling forever.
And they were, for sure. Let's go ahead and move on to match number 7. Brock versus Reigns.
The match of the night.
They started off with Reigns coming out. Started out with Reigns coming out from the audience like he does, and I was kind of shocked because he came out deep. He came out deep in that crowd. He had to walk a little ways because the stadium was pretty big.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I think he got a couple middle fingers in his face. I think he pushed a couple of people out of his way. And he was tightly, guarded by security. But he came out.
Yeah.
And then
it was rough.
You had Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar come out with Paul Heyman, who's got to be arguably the best manager in all of history, for sure. Best, speaker for a wrestler, hands down. They came out. It was awesome. It was electrifying. They got in the ring. They're ready to wrestle. Paul Heyman. It wouldn't have been a WrestleMania moment if you didn't get to hear Paul Heyman talk and introduce the Beast Incarnate and Brock Lesnar. So that's what he did. He did introduce Brock Lesnar. That was awesome. And they had a match, and I'm gonna tell you, it was not a match. Brock Lesnar killed Roman Reigns, killed him worse than probably he did John Cena in that other pay-per-view. Yeah. I was pulling.
Let me tell you something. That's what they had to do. If they would have done it any other way, the fans would have been pissed. There's no way that Roman Reigns could make Brock Lesnar or take him down. Just you can't buy it. Brock Lesnar is another level right now, and there's no other superstar that can come in and just compete with it. It's kind of a shame because you would like the only person that could is John Cena, but they've already had 2 matches to let it go. So who knows? Maybe Sting will stick around and win it. But you know what? I don't know. But with that being said, there's obviously a new world champion. So maybe Seth Rollins is the guy that could do it. Maybe Seth Rollins is going to turn face and face against Brock Lesnar again with him being heel. But I don't know. They always like to do a face versus heel. We'll see what happens. They don't tend to do heel versus heels too much.
I do want to jump on that again. Over the years, I kind of got off the bandwagon of who I want to win and just try to enjoy the show. But I did not want to see Roman Reigns win. I definitely wanted to see the Beast Brock Lesnar retain his title. I mean, when you watch that match, he just annihilates him. I mean, just murders him. There's no way.
I didn't want to see.
There's no
either.
way that you wanted
No.
to see him pull off a victory. He's not your HBK kind of comeback kind of guy. If it was HBK, he could have probably pulled it off and stole the show, but not Roman Reigns, not at this level in his career. I still like to see Roman Reigns work on his Roman Reigns needs to work on his mic skills. He has the look. He's a good-looking guy. He's got the build. I think he's the next tier wrestler. He just really needs to work on his mic skills, and they need to change his attire. Again, I'll go back to it. I like to look at every aspect. I don't think his attire is good. I think it's garbage. I think he's a good-looking guy. They need to fix his attire, and he needs to go to mic school and practice some working on his mic skills.
His mic skills are terrible. He needs a lot of work on it, and you have to have the total package to be the world champion. And I'm sorry, but he's not there. The fans do realize it, and the fans are not wrong. That's why he doesn't get it. He gets half and half. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a Roman Reigns fan. I like him.
Yeah,
I want him.
I like him too.
To be the champion one day. But I don't want him to be the champion now. He does not deserve to be the champion. Seth Rollins actually does deserve to be the champion.
He does. And
he has the total package without outfit. His outfit is terrible. I'm gonna say that. Like, at least he takes his shirt off when he wrestles, but when he comes out with that stupid vest, whatever the hell it is, zip up thing, it's not good. I don't like it at all. But
they need to work on some of the wrestlers' ring attires. Maybe we'll do a whole separate podcast on that because there's a bunch of good wrestlers right now that I feel have strong charisma and personas and in-ring wrestling skills, but their attire is just garbage. And there's so many creative
people out there.
Podcast
on that, leave a comment below, just telling us what you'd like to do us a podcast on. But if you'd like to hear
we're going to try all aspects and all topics. Again, this is just our first coming right after WrestleMania 31, 2015. But going back to that, Seth Rollins finally cashing in his Money in the Bank for real. I thought that was awesome. And it wasn't just him cashing it in a one-on-one with Brock Lesnar. It turned into a triple threat match. When they cashed it in, I said triple threat, and I was hoping that they were going to call it. I had no clue. I was hoping they were going to call it a triple threat, and they did.
I didn't know he couldn't do it in the middle. I thought he would have to wait till after.
Yeah, I didn't think he could do it in the middle. I mean, you can cash it in anytime you want, but I didn't know that was going to make it a triple threat in the middle, and he's going to be the fresh guy. And then I thought it was perfect. If they're going to let Brock Lesnar lose, don't let Brock Lesnar lose. Let the other guy lose. So I thought that was perfect. If Brock Lesnar was going to lose his title, I thought that was the way to go, letting him, pin Roman Reigns. So I thought that was perfect. In my opinion, I wanted to see Brock walk out with the championship, but I'm sure he'll get it again. And I thought that was we've been waiting, I don't even know how long now, to see Seth Rollins finally cash in his Money in the Bank. And I thought it was smart. And what else about it is he did it without J&J Security out there, and he did it without the Authority. So he went out there and he did it himself at the right time, so that even made it more, appealing.
Right. And he was smart about it, and it was smart for WWE to have him pin Roman Reigns as opposed to Brock Lesnar, because that leaves a whole storyline in itself. And you know what? I'm excited to see where it goes. And if you really think about it, Seth Rollins, it was a year ago when he turned on the Shield, and it really took him a whole year of winning the Money in the Bank. And then finally, cashing it in. And you know what? I'm excited to see a champion that's going to be on Raw every single week. You know, I like to see the champion on there. I was happy that Brock Lesnar was the champion for a while, but I like the belt to be more part of the storyline. So I hope that they go back to the main belt being a big part of the storyline, because I don't like to when it's not there every week. That's it's good to see like people like The Rock and Brock, The Rock and Brock, win it. But I'm more of a fan when it's a regular, every week kind of wrestler, because more people deserve to win it too. So,
And I
with
agree.
that being,
I do agree with that. I do like the push that they have been giving the Intercontinental Championship and United States Championship, though. So seeing those kind of come
yeah,
back foreplay is
I,
kind of relevant, and I do enjoy that. And I did kind of like having the Beast be the Beast, and he's only going to be there when he wants to be there and kill people and win his title and retain his title. So I did appreciate it for that, but like you said, I will enjoy it being back, week to week. And also, it's going to be interesting because Seth Rollins did win it, and Randy Orton just beat him. So it's going to be interesting to see if Orton's going to go for another title reign, which would be very awesome because I like to see him get the push. But I do want to kind of wrap things up here. We did touch base on all of WrestleMania this year. We did want to give you our Slam of the Night picks. Again, we had Dean Ambrose getting power bombed out of the ring onto the ladders in the ladder match in the first match of the night. We had Stardust getting suplexed by Bad News Barrett off the ladder, a very tall ladder in the middle of the ring. We'll give you the Randy Orton very high RKO off of Seth Rollins curb stomp. And then I'd like to probably throw in, I don't know, how many F5s did Brock Lesnar give? I think I counted 3. I mean, and how many suplexes? I mean, he was suplexing them across the ring. Suplex, suplex,
right.
suplex. If you don't like Brock Lesnar suplexes, I don't know why you like wrestling. They're pretty damn brutal. So what do you think your favorite slam of the night was if you have to give away a slam of the night?
My slam of the night goes to Randy Orton with the RKO. I thought it was a great move. It was obviously a very well designed, thought out move. It was awesome to see, and I like seeing matches that end with just like such a sweet, emotional kind of move. After he did it, he just got up. All the fans went nuts, and everyone loves a good RKO. There's a reason why they call him the Viper, and it was awesome to see. So I'm gonna go with the Randy Orton.
I'd have to go ahead and say that the Brock Lesnar suplexes were pretty amazing. The power bomb on the outside of the ring to Dean Ambrose was brutal. I think he took him out of the match after that. The big suplex from the tall ladder in the middle of the ring to Stardust was brutal. It was so brutal. But I have to go ahead and agree with you. I think you summed it up. You hit it from the start to finish, the emotions, everything. That super RKO, I mean, everybody loves a good RKO, like you said. But that RKO off a curb stomp that was elevated higher into the air, that was amazing. That was pretty awesome. And I'll give it to Randy
Yes.
Orton. I hope he gets a good push and get some good, rivalry matches with Seth Rollins. Again,
We'll see.
this is CZO and The Pickle.
Oh well, hold on, one more thing. One to sum everything up for the night. I want both of us to give a grade, and I just want to say really quick that this WrestleMania was probably one of the best WrestleManias that I have personally seen in the last 10 years. There's been some good ones. There's been some ones that were so-so, but I really, really enjoyed this WrestleMania, and the grade I'm gonna give it is a solid A, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope everyone else did. And CZO, we're gonna get your picks, and we're gonna wrap it up here.
All right, we're wrapping it up, like the pickle said, and I just want to go ahead and point out we are going to be doing podcasts, and like the pickle said, if you want us to do a podcast on championships, any type of topic, let us know in the comments. Let us know if what you like, what you disagreed with. We don't care. We're going to be here. We are wrestling fans over 15, 20 years plus, and we're going to continue to be. I'm going to go ahead and give this WrestleMania, just like my main man, The Pickle, said, an A, a solid A. I really do truly believe this year. If I was doing these podcasts over the past years, I would not give them A's. They had their pluses and minuses. Maybe we'll touch on that in another podcast. But I was overall entertained, and I thought the matches were solid. So again, CZO here, the animated character, and we got the Pickle. We will be doing these podcasts. Look out for us. Hopefully tomorrow night, immediately following Raw, we'll be able to bring you guys another podcast. And just leave comments and like and tell us what you want to hear. All right?
And we'll see you next time with CZO
next time. And the Pickle.